Hi there, welcome to Ask Catherine. It is 21 degrees below zero right now. That's the wind chill, what it feels like outside. And let me tell you, it feels pretty chilly inside here too. So I'm glad though to be inside and glad to be answering your question today. Today's question is, what is the difference between gestational surrogacy and traditional surrogacy? So gestational surrogacy means that you are using an egg that does not come from the surrogate. It can come from anyone else in the whole world, but it doesn't come from the surrogate. So the egg's going to either come from the intended mother or an egg donor. Traditional surrogacy is the opposite. In traditional surrogacy, the egg comes from the surrogate herself. So in traditional surrogacy, the child is going to look like the surrogate, and it's going to look like the surrogate's other children because it's her genetic child. In gestational surrogacy, the genetics are not coming from the surrogate, and the child will have the physical resemblance to either the egg donor or to the intended mother, depending on whose egg was used. And so it's really important from a legal perspective to understand that the laws are different for the two types of surrogacy. So in New England, so 4 of our New England states have laws on gestational surrogacy: Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and Connecticut. And they all regulate how gestational surrogacy works. Traditional surrogacy is a little bit different, though. Traditional surrogacy is generally going to be governed under the plain old adoption laws in the state. The one exception in New England is going to be Maine, because in Maine there are some exceptions that relate to close family members. And when close family members are pursuing traditional surrogacy in Maine, they can get the benefits of the gestational surrogacy law protections. But that's really the only exception. There's also a bill pending in Massachusetts that would regulate traditional surrogacy, and it would be regulated in a way that is different from gestational surrogacy. If you want to take a look at that, you're going to want to look for the bill that talks about surrogacy and parentage. They're calling it genetic surrogacy in Massachusetts. That's kind of the new trend, the new word that we're using for traditional surrogacy, because it recognizes that the genetics are coming from the surrogate also. So that's kind of where we stand in New England in terms of the laws on gestational surrogacy and traditional surrogacy. If you have questions, please submit them to Ask Catherine, and we'll look forward to answering them. Bye-bye.